Hey, what's up everyone? I hope you're all having a wonderful day or night, but for now, let's get into the video.
Okay, I feel like I'm kind of on a roll right now. I'm like a little fired up about online dating. So here's another thing for the guys out there. Do not, do not under any circumstances, when you want to take things offline, say, what's your Snapchat? Or, hey, you got IG? Babe, we both know you're going to follow me on Instagram and that's going to be the end of it. You're gonna like my stories for about 3.5 years, maybe send me one little heart eye, and that's the extent of it. And then with Snapchat, it's like you're gonna add me and then either not send me a Snapchat ever, so I'm never gonna reach out to you myself because that's not my main form of communication with anyone. Second of all, you're gonna just send me a text message in Snapchat, so I don't even know that you're real at this point. Or you're gonna hit me with a,
With a hey, that's what she said if you're only listening. I think the moral of the story here, or at least what she was trying to say, is that if you want to take things offline, don't.
If your man was getting happy birthday wishes from people at work, like his coworkers in a group text, and one of his coworker girls was like, "Happy birthday, may you get more handsome," would that be an issue for you? Because I think that would be an issue for me. I'm in a group text and I was like, and this man is married with children and all that, right? And I'm like, kind of like, why are you wishing him looks? You should be just wishing him success and calling it a day, sis, because we're at work. Like, we're at work and that's not your man. And if that was your man, you would not be wanting no bitch wishing him looks. Like, oh, I hope you get more handsome. So that means you think he's handsome?
Or not. She might just hope he's gonna get more handsome because she likes him now regardless of his looks. But isn't it weird that a bunch of single women started saying that some married men are their work husbands? If you've never heard that before, that's a real thing. Bunch of strong and independent women started to talk about themselves as being some guy's work wife. But hey, in their defense, those men are married and maybe they came to realize they're never going to be wives except in that scenario.
What are your biggest icks in dating? I'll go first. Number one, I want you to be so kind to servers. I want to know that you're a good person. I want you to be kind to them, ask them how their day is, treat them like a human, and please and thank you. Also, leave them a good tip. You better leave them a good tip. Another one. I want you to be chivalrous. So chivalrous. I want you to open the door for me. I want you to walk behind me, never in front of me. I want you to always walk on the right side of the sidewalk, you know? The man should be walking on the outside, the woman on the inside. I just like that. I think it's very masculine. I think it's very protective and it's very sweet. I'm teaching my boys to do all these things. They open the doors for me. They do. I mean, I don't let them walk on the outside of the sidewalk, but when they're a little older. But yeah, I'm teaching my kids to be like that. They need to treat a woman the right way, and I expect to be treated that way too. I also think it's very important that the man pick up the first bill. And I know that's probably controversial, but I think that as the man, you should pick up the first bill.
Fine, I'll pick it and hand it over to you. Don't get me wrong, I think it's great you're teaching your sons how to behave in society. But when it comes to servers, some of them really don't deserve you being polite. It's only been a few days since I've posted one of those, so what I also think you should teach your sons is how to stand up for themselves. And if I give the servers a tip but not a big tip, what exactly does that says about me? It says more about you when you consider that to be a nick.
Pretty privilege is actually such a real thing because I have been like weird, like strange and off-putting and kind of just uncomfortable to be around my entire life.
And since then, absolutely nothing changed. But who are you arguing with? Who said pretty privilege is not real? Those girls who get into clubs for free? Yeah, it must be them, right?
It fucked up my development in a lot of ways. But one of the funniest and most clear is when I come to the office for work, 'cause I have to travel for it a few times a year, and I'm walking in, I'm like, wow, I am just your everyday superhero going to work. Like, wow, people, I'm so productive today.
Whoever invented cookies needs to be sued, because now every woman expects one just for walking. I'm such a superhero just for going to work 1 day a month. Yes, princess, yes you are. Wait until you discover astrology, you'll be unstoppable.
I just drove past a guy I thought could be cute, and he was walking by. I slowed my car down and snapped my neck, literally broke my neck to get a better look. Like, what was I gonna do? Holler at him, lure him into the car?
Well, that depends. Do you have any candies in your car? I would love to see an all-women construction site. Can you even imagine the words that will come out of their mouths when a guy will be passing by? But at the same time, you have to remember that catcalling is bad.
Listen, I'm not saying I support war. I'm not condoning violence or anything like that. I'm just saying you can tell some of these Western men, it's been a while since we've sent them away to do something, and it's catching up to us. It's why they all want to start podcasts and be DJs. It's why they're spending so much time on YouTube. Because it's been a while. And none of this like cushy military shit too, because you can have a death shot. I'm saying we need to ship them somewhere. Can't be that focused on YouTube when you're in a trench fearing for your life. And right now, they're starting to think about things that they don't know anything about. They're forming thoughts on things that they don't know anything about. They're getting a microphone. They're saying, here are all my dumb thoughts. Get in a trench. I'm not saying I condone violence or war. You know, it doesn't have to be war. I don't know what it could be. I'm just saying you can tell it's been a while. And we need to do something about that.
Absolutely, but who is we though? Because it's gonna have to be the men that you are talking about. And see, not that this is the biggest difference between men and women. It shows you exactly how bad women have it these days, especially in the West. They can go online and talk all day about how they want to send men in trenches. You as a man just try and go online and say something like, maybe we should start sending women, I don't know, in the kitchen and see what happens.
Why is it always men who have to change and never women? How come no one ever says that women should have to change to impress men? I find this comment genuinely fascinating. Let's put aside the fact that men are the ones describing themselves as involuntarily celibate and whining about a male loneliness epidemic. What do you want women to change? Women are more attractive than men, on average. Look at this graph. Men report being much more satisfied with their dating options than women are. And not only that, but women are also starting to catch up to men financially. So you probably don't even make more money than the beautiful woman you're trying to date. And then what happens when women do get into relationships with men? They do the majority of the cooking and cleaning, even when they're the breadwinner. So you want women to improve in which area? Please be specific.
Character, personality, and most important out of everything, honesty. I get that you wanted to make a point with no solid argument, but in that case, just go with something like I think or I feel. But instead, you chose to show a graph that was not about how attractive people are, but in fact how women don't see the majority of men as being attractive. That was the first lie. The second lie was showing an article written by a woman on how women, even though they are the providers, which in most cases they're still not, are still doing the majority of house labor. And that was the second lie, because that's no proof, that's an opinion. And even still, the biggest lie was that men are complaining about the male loneliness. It's not men, because even though I posted one talking about it, he was only saying what we all know. There is no such thing as the male loneliness, and it's always women like yourself that are talking about that. But since this is you and these are the women you're talking to, I get why even when you don't have a solid argument, you're gonna use lies to try to make it look like you did have a point.
You know what I wish? I wish that more men understood that the women that are fighting against the patriarchy are on the same side that you guys are on. The women are on the same side as you. Think about that. The system that was set up to oppress women is set up in a way where it also dilutes men, if that makes any sense. So the women that are out there sitting here being like, oh, we're trying to fight against the patriarchy, blah, blah, blah. We actually need a lot of men to help that too. Like, we need men on our side. Men that also see the flawed system, that are also willing to change and help and grow. Like, men that sit there and they're just like, oh my gosh, the men that are still so filled in their egotistical ways where they just want women to serve as their slaves instead of understanding that you cannot live up to those societal expectations that the patriarchy has set on you. That's the reason why there's a high rate of men offing themselves. Like, just think about that. Like, the women that are fighting against the patriarchy are actually on your side. I don't understand this like idea that Like, I get it. Like, I talk a lot of shit about men, but it's like really the piss poor men. Like, the piss poor men.
Yeah, no, I get it, but that will be me. And that will still be me if you come to asking for help. Because the men that are already on your side, you can't rely on them to bring you a coffee without spilling it. Because we both know you already have men on your side. And the difference, one of the many, but probably the biggest difference between me and you, is that I was on your side and I would have always been on your side. But you decided to go on the internet and talk ish about me. And the only reason for you to do that was because I'm a man and you were never on my side. But at least you have nothing to worry about because there is no patriarchy in the West.
But when a stranger looks at me and goes, "Hey ma'am, I'm gonna do this," I'm gonna go, I'm not a ma'am, I'm not a lady, I'm not a girl.
We're making off pie with 1 cup of no one cares, a dash of kiss my ass, add some yous, a pinch of blow me. You're gonna want to stir it all together and shove it up your ass.
Alright, this is gonna be it for today. As always, I do hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't, I still appreciate you for making it this far. Thank you all so much for watching. Stay safe and I will see you in the next one.